And so with Nora, of course, this you are working with your mentor. This is, an ordinary thing for you. Um, Ansa, this is a big deal. You helped design this experiment. There are there are things in this experiment that are very critical to your theories, and in some ways, it's kind of a personal test, right? I mean, you are not the most potent vampire around, and um, but you are sort of the up and coming weird scientist of the bunch. Um,
And now this experiment is ruined because like we were supposed to have this person alive, breathing, and now we can't have that. So
not
it's not that way.
not quite that way. There are possibilities here. There are the,
Or ways to bring.
well, hold on. Before we get into that, let's do more of the role playing setup. I'm just giving you some backstory now. So, and Hans, the test subjects, there are 5, but there are only 2 left to bring to this clinic. And one of them, if you examine your aspirations.
Mm-hmm. Ah, this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, So we so that's just some backstory. I want to get back to kind of the scenic role playing at the moment because there's just enough time, at least so you thought, to get a little bit of work done. You're not supposed to meet or anything until midnight. So you have just 2 or 3 hours in which you could, well, 3 or 4 really, 3 or 4 hours for you to take care of business that you want to do. We already saw Hans spend time with the birthday present, so he is settled with that. We have seen Nora work on the research, so she has been busy with that. I would say both of those are about an hour. And as I recall, Hans did not need to use the blush of life either. But what about Ansa was looking on her own computers and her own things to, but you may have other things you want to do. And also you just got this difficult news. You are supposed to meet Solveig at midnight over in Schopenhausen. And now this has happened. You have contact information for Hans, who you are supposed to be working with on this. And then finally, let's see, we have, yes, Ejdesh. I don't know if you want to spend any time perhaps adding to the, improving the artistic conditions of Malmö. I mean, there are lots of buildings with nothing on them, and that's not good. But I don't know if you're going to spend time on that tonight. In fact, Lars will be, there's 10 messages from Lars because there's something, this is the opportunity to tag the city secretary's wall outside of their house. The opportunity to do that is just open now, just for a little while.
And we have planned this for so long. And what right now,
I'm sorry, Ola, I don't catch that.
what I'm doing right now, by Mike, is that I'm putting on corpse paint. Because it's like Halloween, and or it's close to Halloween, and people are still putting that on. So and that was Lars and all those the kids that we decided to do that and go out, and to me it's more like the art in this is probably not the paint on the wall, but it's the paint on our faces. and what we are
I see.
doing.
Okay. So this is going to take a little
But
while. So you're going to join
yeah.
them at this activity.
Yeah, I'm going to join them. I'm actually it's more or less Lars' thing, but I'm probably influenced him on doing this and like being really scary, painting walls.
So excellent.
I'm a bit annoyed by all this.
The first thing I want you to tell me is whether you're going to consider this socializing or expression. It could be either one.
This is more to me expression.
Okay.
I don't really understand what I'm choosing between, but
okay.
I'm just guessing expression.
Okay, so
I'm not trying to be bond with them. It's more like I'm being. It's more of taking part of a play.
I want you to roll resolve and expression.
Resolve and expression.
And if you want to really put a little bit of extra into this, you can spend a point of willpower for 3 more dice.
No, I want to say. So I have pretty many dice as it is. It's like at least 6 dice. I think that's sounds good. And I have to roll 10, 9, and 8. Or what was it?
Correct. And I believe since this is a specialty, you get 1 extra die.
Yeah, okay. Take the right one. Yeah. This is actually an old vampire guy from the beginning. Yes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 10.
Okay. So re-roll the
no ones.
Yeah. Re-roll the 10. Don't worry about ones in this roll.
Yeah, it's a 6. So.
Okay. So you have 1 success, and so the
1 success. I have 5 successes.
Oh, you have. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get it now. I understand. Yeah. So in this case, you have.
It's impressive.
We have definitely see quite the artistic. Yes. Oh, I. Believe you. I believe you.
No, it's not about. It's about being impressed about all the numbers to in this meaningless roll.
Excellent.
Yes,
well, it's not quite so meaningless because you are definitely going to make a big impact on the city with this. The timing is perfect, and the meaning of it all, Ola, is clear. Whatever obscure point you choose to make with this, it has been delivered. So
that's good.
Now
I expect that we scare people.
Yes, yes, with your corpse paint and so forth. And there will be a big editorial next week about this. American Halloween is getting out of hand. It is going too far. So I would like to know about some similar roles for Nathan and for Henna, if you want to think about something that you are up to, and then we will concern ourselves with feeding, if anybody is inclined.
Always.
So, Henna, is there anything you want to roll about or take care of at this time, especially now that you have this disturbing news?
Yeah, the news is like, I'm just thinking like what I could do about it. Yeah, because it's bad. It's not supposed to go like that.
There is one piece of information that is very helpful here. Austin has been embraced. Well, no, it's not the embraced. Embrace would turn him into a vampire. He has been kissed. So that means that he has given blood or had blood taken from him by a vampire. There is a chance that somebody in that condition, if they are killed, there is a chance for them to be raised as a vampire. It's considered kind of disgusting by some vampires to do that, because it is involuntary, obviously. And then also it takes a while. You have to put a lot of vampire blood, like the right blood, in there. Solveig would do it. He was the one who bit him. Solveig's blood would do it. But you would need a lot of it to make this guy walk. And of course, this changes the experiment because now he would be vampiric. But, you know, if he is still a lab rat, that doesn't matter. You can still mess with him. It's not like, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it will
No,
work.
I mean, definitely it's going to change things. So, like, if we were supposed to have an experiment with a living human being, that's not going to happen. Like, with a breathing human. So maybe, like, I don't know, like, probably I will consider then, like, how would it be, like, if we just have the body versus that this person becomes
Right.
a vampire, or like that we attempt to make.
So this is going to require some science-y rolling for you to figure out, but you might not have to do it right away. The real problem right now is getting the body. Now, Hans doesn't know anything about this yet. Hans is happily doing whatever Hans does. In fact, Hans, I think that it is time for feeding. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay. Now, do you have either feeding grounds or herd?
Nope.
No, you don't have either of those.
Nope.
Oh. Well, in that case, what does your vampire do for what does Hans do for feeding? I mean, that's not very secure for an older vampire like yourself. You must like the hunt. You must actually, I mean, after...
Actually, I'm using stealth.
Yeah. After
to find
100 years of being a vampire, if you don't have feeding grounds or a herd...
Actually, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Feeding ground. That's kind of... It's kind of scary. Feeding ground. So where is... It's usually a place where you can go and get away with either assaulting people or hypnotizing them. And you can go and... It's a good place for that. You can stay pretty anonymous doing this. So what sort of place is that for Hans?
I think it's going to be a shady bar where he gets contacts for investigations.
Ah, perfect. Yeah.
So it's related to his job. A job.
Right. So stealth is fine, but if you're going to be in that bar and kind of being a normal person, you're going to have to spend vitae for Blush of Life first.
Sure.
Okay. So you are at -2 vitae, and now you can and you cannot feed off of animals. Your blood potency is too high. So let other vampires, suck on rats. I think of rats as kind of the Capri Sun bag for young vampires, right? So
that's no, I think I'm going to use persuasion,
right,
to have a human being following me in the dark corner or something.
Right. This is done as follows. Page 96. Oh, wrong way. Odin, thank you again. I could not possibly do this without the hard copy. I could not possibly do this on a PDF. I have to have a book. I'm looking for my own copy because I know this is special. I'm being very careful with it. So I will give it back as soon as I can. Yeah. Okay. So we have used the following: manipulation plus persuasion. Okay. If it is, as you describe, if you are there obviously it's other skills if you are just dragging somebody kicking into an alley.
No.
Right.
I'm
But
going to use that.
so, and then if you want to use willpower for extra dice, please do. But there are more things too. Feeding grounds, add dice for the dots in feeding grounds.
8.
Okay. And so you are, okay, that's fine. I don't think any of this is a big deal otherwise. So I think that's it. And so you get to do that.
Okay, 8 dice.
Mm-hmm. And this takes about an hour.
Okay.
The persuasion takes about an hour.
Well,
Please,
it's a
come
matter
with
of
me,
some
beloved.
stalking and finding the right person and the right timing and things like that.
Yeah.
I have 110, 19, 18, and 7. It has to be more than 7?
8, 9, and 10.
8, 9, and 10. Okay, I have 3 success, including a 10.
Okay, so roll the 10 again. This is called the chance die.
2.
Okay.
So, no chance.
That's good, because if you roll a 1 on a chance die, it's a dramatic failure. So, in this case, you have success.
Mm-hmm.
You can feed freely. And this means that you are going to okay, let's go roll. Right. So you are capable of, with your blood potency, you are capable of storing up to 12. So if you feed, it says feed freely, right? So let's see what this exactly means. Spending a point of vitae, you may add appropriate discipline. You didn't do that. Okay, good. I'm just checking the rules because this is the first time we are doing this, and you are capable of bringing yourself up to your 12 vitae. All right, so you can feed quite nicely. Henna, anytime you want to contact Hans is fine, although he's very busy at this time, what with all of his blood draining and things like that. Nora, would you like to prepare yourself with a full tank of vitae would you like to get some feeding done here in your feeding grounds?
Yes. And how much blood will I start with?
Well, you had 10, and then that's -1 because you had been using that discipline to walk during the day, I think.
It will already be. It depends on time.
What I mean is, no matter what, whether you slumbered or whether you used the discipline, either way, you would be -1 vitae.
So 10 minus 1.
Correct. Now, also, as you know, you will not gain it back through sleeping. You will have to gain it back through feeding. So you can go without feeding for a few days, but not for that long. And at 4 vitae, you become a little bit vulnerable. You become very vulnerable to frenzy. So anyway, you are not near there. You are at 9 vitae. Do you want to take some time to feed or not?
I think I skip that part.
Okay. So
Not really, like...
maybe you can catch something. Maybe you can do something later, or maybe you will just go without for tonight.
It's not really a priority right now.
Right. Excellent.